which is going to be a fun matchup. My eyes are on 2 Red Devils. I actually think they have potential to make a deep run and maybe kind of sneak in to the final as that number 3 seed, but it depends on the form. We know how good Min can be. We know he could arguably be the fastest driver out of everyone participating. The question at the start of the season was if Chung could keep up, but then it seems like also consistency has been hurting Min as well.
Yeah, it has been the case that Jung has been stepping up, and Min has been the one that has been sort of he has the pace. He has world records on basically every map at this point, almost. I believe so. So it definitely makes no difference in that regard. So. But it seems that the pace hasn't really converted over consistency. So people have been taking advantage of that. We've seen countless times where they've really taken maps a lot longer than they should have. So it's something that teams can pick on. I don't know if Min has taken a different mindset now as well. I don't think he's the kind of player that really enjoys, seeing himself drive badly. Nobody really does, but I feel like he holds himself to a very high degree. So we'll have to wait and see in that regard. But of course, before we go into the match in a minute, actually, in just a moment, of course, ECM, of course, Trackmania. If you didn't get your pick'ems in, tough luck. But it is a website with a lot of statistics, so if you want to keep along, we have also Trackmania events, a very good source of the online times as well. In that regard, but if you were stuck with if you didn't get your pick'ems in, well. Sorry, man. It's tough luck. You can just play your own pick'ems all alone in your chair with no real friends.
You can pick the next match, right? You can start doing research into Restless
right.
With steak and cheese and get ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a blast regardless. And regardless of what we're going to see, we're going to see the pick and bans already.
Well, technically, it's not pick and bans.
Technically, it's
not
no
pick and bans.
it's picks and no bans.
We'll gloss over that part. We'll gloss over that part.
Well, there's Agartha being taken.
Surprise.
Can't say that's a surprise at all.
Yep. The most expected pick against two Red Devils you're gonna ever see. We'll have to wait and see. I see a lot of yeks in chat. I wonder if our audio is good. We'll get to that. People are going insane apparently, but apparently sound is doubled. Apparently sound echo is in. Let's go. We get to go way. We get to go way to dank as well. Hello. Mess with people a bit.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, I'm sorry. But no, we'll see. We're taking our time with the fourth pick right now. I'm curious. They're thinking hard on the Restless side. The first pick was always easy, but I guess after that, I don't know. Again, 2 Red Devils are going to be the favorites in this matchup. So, where else do you think you can beat them? Candy Crush, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is there isn't really a map. Oh, they're going to leave Shias as last. Nobody wants to pick it. They cannot ban it.
Oh.
So Shias is, actually picked. Luminance will be the last map. Well, I'm going to be honest. No hard feelings for Restless White, but it's going to take a hell of a time to even get to 3-piece or Candy Crush, to be honest. Well, they will get to Candy Crush because it is a best of 7, so they do have to win 4 maps.
I think they'll win Agatha. I think we're going to see a 4-1.
Agartha, yeah. I guess we can get 5 maps. I mean, 5 maps is doable.
That's why that 5th pick was so important, right? Because that's probably going to be the map that you have to feel most comfortable on with your back against the wall. They opt for the Candy Crush there, so we'll see if that does come into play. But warming up now, we'll be jumping into this one very, very shortly. I think we are in agreement, though, on this one. 2 Red Devils favorite to win this match. If we do see the upset, though, who steps up on the Restless side?
Well, the thing is that if you just quickly glance at the players on Restless White, you might notice that there's a subtle difference in the players. I don't know if you notice it as well. They do have a subtle...
No Cobra. That's a bit of a problem.
No Careless Cobra this time around. So it is a substitute. Danny, can he live up to the heights of J-Swag? for the showdown. Remember the tale of J-Swag? If you remember, it absolutely phenomenal. The legends speak of the man, but can Danny live up to that? We'll have to see as well. But that is regardless of that. But or Sabo, never mind. Sabo Jr. You know what I mean. You knew Redeem. You knew
J-Swag.
as
No,
well.
J-Swag was a legend in his own right. He was the rookie of the event.
Yeah, C-Max knows what I'm talking about. Definitely not getting the names mixed up.
But J-Swag won our hearts, okay? So what's more important in the end?
Exactly. But regardless of that, we see that somehow Danny is almost in the lead of the race. But it seems that is immediately thrown in the bin as Min and Jung are going to take the lead, and Kelva has already fallen a fair bit behind. I feel like with the substitute, it's going to be a bit more difficult as well. But so far, at least, I feel like, if anything, it's going to be a good match for Min and Jung to just get into the groove of it. Get a clean runs in, get some consistency going, that they don't do anything really unforced. Because if you lose a map to with a team with a sub, it's gonna be a bit annoying. And Min, as I say, that goal clips the corner there almost, but it is an ace to start
Danny
off.
69 got a PB. Unfortunately, it's with the slowest time of the 4, so that could be telling perhaps how this series might play out. Also, we are aware there is no game audio, and we are also still aware that it sounds like there are multiple of us in the booth at the moment. So if the mystery third voice,
I feel the double audio got fixed as far as I know.
That would be great.
Okay, well, we can try a bit. No, hit the wall there, Kelva. But regardless,
we'll see what happens. I mean, Min and Chung still off very far in front at this stage, and it is looking a little bit awkward right now again for the rest of the side. Kelva Awesome again already hitting the wall early, and Huge Danny I just don't think has the pace in the latter half of the track. You can see they were a little bit less experienced before, with that PB being a bit behind. So this looks pretty dire, I would say, for Restless, and pretty likely we could be just seeing, a 4-round map 1.
Well, it is their pick, so, you would expect that at least, but to start off, Danny with a BB as well. We love to see that as well.
I think you got to call the full name, Huge Danny 69. You can't let him get away with just Danny. Not with the username as glorious as that.
Huge Danny 69. Is that a euphemism or something? Well, Danny definitely hit something that was big, but regardless of that, Kelva is now trying to get some points on the board for Restless White. But Min and Chung are gonna have a bit of I have much more to say as well, but I just read something what Resident said, and that made me laugh.
As I said, we're dealing with the audio issues, okay? But first, we got to fix the basic necessities of understanding where we are in terms of watching this match. Kelf Awesome actually has moved up into P2 right now. It looked like it was Chung had a little bit of an issue before, and that could be a cheeky little opening. We haven't really talked about this track just yet. Simplicity. I kind of went straight into the action here, but I have to admit, as a low skill player, Simplicity probably is the easiest map with like the least places to make crucial mistakes.
I mean, there are a few parts, a few tracks that I would say that fall into that category as well. I feel like definitely, I believe. It also ended up being it was a victory, at least in that regard, for Trident. I mean, I would say that it is one of the maps that it does have simplicity in its name, but to be honest, there is that one corner where Chung made the mistake as well that has caught a lot of drivers, actually, because people want to really like push that corner, but you can easily get that drift very wrong and just push a bit too much, hit the wall, and then you are very much behind. But we see again Chung a bit fallen behind. It's a bit of a 2 Red Devil sandwich. That could be a hell of a name for a sandwich joint.
Oh,
Min! Red Devil sandwich. Min hits the corner as well. And Restless White are on their way to a potential ace, Max. A potential ace. But Chung is trying to deny that.
Right through with so much more pace in the latter half of the track. Oh, we got excited too soon. Still a draw. Would keep Restless alive, and I think they would happily take it. Kelv Awesome, though, a little bit wide, has to make a slight readjustment, but still will get across. PB for Huge Danny 69. And all right, I guess we go 5 rounds instead of 4, but the 2 Red Devils just need to not get aced, and they're going to win this first map.
That is true, yeah. But this is, again, sort of goes back to what we said earlier on as well, as Ming clips the poll a bit there, is the fact that, these matchups, especially your first map, they should come relatively easy for Trident. Well, not Trident. The TRD acronym really gets me all the time. I want to say Trident, but it is 2 Red Devils. I mean, I know it's that's my thing. But regardless of that, the 2 Red Devils should be getting these maps a lot more conveniently. But as they seem to be getting it now with an ace when they only need as minimum a draw. But but overall, it speaks the tale of the 2 Red Devils throughout this tournament. But as long as they can perform when it matters, that's when that's important then. But for the time being, they can get into them. It's the first map of the day, first match of the day. You're getting into the vibe of it, and it seems that the 2 Red Devils, at least the current vibe is that they take the first track.
They're going to take it quite handily as well. Another PB for Huge Danny 69, who was just getting faster and faster as we went, but unfortunately, no more time to continue to improve. First map goes to the 2 Red Devils, but now comes the interesting one. Now comes the map that 2 Red Devils, rumor has it, they have not touched this map. It was their perma-ban, and they thought we were still going to be, able to ban, I should say, going into the quarterfinals. I'm a little bit nervous the type of form we're going to see from them.
Yeah, somebody did not read the rule book until the playoff section where it said matches will be best of 7s. Clearly not reading the rule book. SRK would be absolutely infuriated with these people not reading the rule book. Absolutely infuriated. But we will be seeing a spectacle, that's for sure. I'm very interested to see. This is a team who, in theory, did not really know that they have to play Agartha. They have been permabanning it, not really touching it at all. How much they actually played it? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I would presume that Min has practiced it and gotten it all done as well. But judging from how it is already starting in warm-up, I have expectations of absolute chaos.
I'm nervous because I'm pretty sure out of the 7 tracks, this is the only track that Min does not have the world record on.
True. Yeah, well, he hadn't played the track.
Well, maybe that'll change. You know what? Maybe Such a Natural will get the world record
in live rounds incoming.
We'll find out.
Yeah, right now we're gonna get a live world record. Absolutely. We have spoken it into distance. Min is first. GG. It's Jover for a Restless fight already. Look at him go already. Look at that man. Gets that outside third. Really nice. It was one of the maps that when I was playing the Balticum, really didn't like, but it started to grow on me, and Min gets the eyesight as well. I mean, and you say they haven't practiced. I mean, Huge Danny 69 is on the case, overtaking Jung as well, and Min is off to the sunset, and it looks like he just casually driving as it is. A bit of a not the best launch there, a bit slow there, clips almost there.
He's fine.
It's a bit hectic still, but it's fine.
I mean, again, it's kind of been hectic, all the drivers down in this one. No one really hitting the wall ride very cleanly. So unless something drastic happens, we're going to be getting a draw in our first round. And despite Huge Danny making a lunge at his teammate, PBs, by the way, for both Min and Danny.
Look at those PBs.
We're still like nearly 2 seconds off the world record with our fastest time. This is going to be, this is not, trust us when I say when we come back to this track later, we're going to be seeing much faster pace.
Yeah, but the funny part is that was Min's PB. That was a 103. I mean, everybody else is just going to look at it and be like, well, we might have a chance against them on this track. I don't wonder why. But yeah, in some sense, you would have loved to play them right now, as Min has a classic case of ice. A bit, but he catches it at least. But yeah, Restless fight about to ace and win against 2 Red Devils, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. But it's, I think it's one of those tracks where they just have to be like, you know what, we screwed up. We're just gonna have to swallow the pill here, lose a track every single match here, and just go with it.
I mean, let's see. I don't want to write them off entirely yet. I mean, I'm writing off for this particular round because we are going to be getting that ace. Huge Danny A shout out for Huge Danny, by the way, who also has just been getting, like, it feels like PBs every single run. Of course, doesn't get this one because they had some issues earlier at the start. But it's not just Min and Chung who are coming in unpracticed. It feels like Huge Danny is a little bit unpracticed as well, which is why I still think there's a world where the two Red Devils maybe can win this track at the end, although Min has to finish and not get stuck at that one turn over and over again. We'll see how we go. Ace for Restless White. They have the lead. We'll see if they can hold it as we gear up for round 3.
Yep. Let's just say this is just a warm-up to everything. I mean, if anything, if there's any opponent you would practice this map against for the time being, it would be Restless White, for the two Red Devils. It's method to the madness, you just get your prac in, touch that outside wall, both members do. 3 people did. I think almost everybody touched that outside. That is by far probably the most difficult part to nail down, because you want that speed, because it sets you up with ice. Kelva gets it clean and then goes into the stratosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Agartha in a nutshell. Oh, I love it. Just brings back memories. And it's an average APEC round indeed. Oh,
yeah, I mean, Chung's looking pretty good, but all of a sudden, Kelv Awesome is actually going to have the speed through the wall ride to make the pass. And I don't know what happened to all of Chung's speed. I think they were driving way too conservatively. I'm not too sure, but Kelv Awesome actually is going to help Restless White get this round win unless, something goes terribly wrong, although it's Chung who had the choppy landing. That said, Huge Danny, 69 so far back. We're not going to be seeing any late overtakes. So everyone about a second apart, if not more so. 4 seconds behind the world record on this one, and even Min is bouncing off the trees as they cross the line.
Victory. I mean, what is a funny analogy? Probably Challenger League was faster on average than currently this match is. Probably Challenger League was faster on Agartha than these 4 are at the moment. So the Challenger League players, if you want to feel absolutely amazing today, you can say that you're faster than Min on one of the tracks in the AOPL. You can take that, put it on your wall, say that I'm faster than Min on a
say that, but Min's got a good time going
needs
right
to know
here
the full
all
extent.
of a sudden. I'd be a little bit nervous on this one. Chung currently holding down P2, and an ace would have been great. However, Chung a little bit awry after that ice section. It's now dropping a fair bit of pace as Min kind of drives off in the distance. The wall ride is where Chung struggled before and will continue to do so now. Huge Danny and Kelv Awesome looking to run down Min, who is so far ahead, nearly 2 seconds ahead on this one. Min's going to get a decent time here, Kriidy. I think Min obviously not going to be getting world record, and of course, as I call it out, they bottled the ending, so never mind, but it's a PB at least.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be PBs. I think it could have been almost a sub 102 without that touch as well in the end. So Min can be fast, of course. It's still a track that he's able to drive. He had played it. I'm sure they had discovered it when they first came out. So but they have been Burma banning it ever since, so they haven't had any reason to really play it. So, but you can definitely see that from here as well. And Min already, you can see, like, from my calculated eyes, when I was practicing this track, I immediately knew that Min was gonna hit that third wall. But that's the case for this track, and it's fun times galore. Min respawns. He's probably respawned here more than he's done the entire tournament.
It's all on the ice slide. Min's been struggling, keeps going a bit too tight on it, and just hitting that inside wall.
Tech Andes, it happens.
Unfortunate for Min, fortunate for Restless White, who, I mean, it looks like they're set to win this round unless Chung can force a draw. I mean, there's still a world where the two Red Devils take this track back if they can draw and Min can get some consistent rounds. And Chung goes very wide, wants the speed for the ending, looks to snipe it on the final checkpoint. So there you go, forcing the draw. Two Red Devils, they still stay within striking distance.
Yep, and you can see, I mean, Ice is a devilish, is a devil in disguise. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm pretty sure Min is in the no ice community. But every tournament has its token ice slide at this point, so I see people are throwing in shade upon Twitch shadows as well, clearly as Min hits 2 walls in a quick succession. So yeah, that is Yeah, also to the person who is asking, yes, it is all best of 7s now, so you don't have any bans, so you're forced to play the tracks that you do not like anymore. And Agartha was a permaban for the 2 Red Devils, and you can clearly see why. I don't think it really you need much explanation, and it seems that Restless Whites are about to ace and go
okay,
for
now
the track.
I'm actually genuinely curious. When did the 2 Red Devils find out that they had to drive this track? How much time did they allow themselves to try and learn this one? Because everyone's telling me they never practiced. Was this like a discovery 30 minutes before like we went live?
Who knows at this point? I like to believe that that is the case, which would make it even
that's
more
what it's honestly, it kind of is coming across to me like they didn't realize it until we jumped into the pick and bans and they saw the ban wasn't there. That's kind of the form we've seen. Anyways, this one is going to end with an ace as Restless White gets across. Chung hits the cactus to finish us off. So tied series, 1 apiece. But now things will be a lot more difficult for Restless White because the 2 Red Devils are practiced on the other 6.
Yeah, it is the case where it is one of those people will now get a token map. We get a GG by Chung as well. Ever gracious as always, GG indeed. But now we go back to, we go back from, the high skies, beautiful rainbows for Restless White, back to reality. Min and Jung, next map, waiting is on the board, and we are going to be waiting for some huge rounds in now by the 2 Red Devils as well. So it's gonna be. So we go back to it's it's the aware moment for Restless White. It was nice while it lasted, but reality is gonna come in crashing down quite hard.
Yeah, we'll see how this one looks. Waiting, of course, a track with a pretty fun but also slightly notorious start. Not the most notorious beginnings, I feel like, on all of them. This was the track I was warming up on before we jumped in here today. I really love how smooth and flowy it can be once you start hitting some of the transitions, particularly in the middle portion of this track. But yeah, again, it's a track that the 2 Red Devils have selected, and again, they're a very flowy team, so I think they'll be all right. If Restless White can pull off the upset, though, on this track, all of a sudden, that's when we can get our series. So I'm hoping Restless White looks a bit competitive.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see, of course. I mean, if anything, this is it's a nice appetizer of a match. We get a bit of a start to the day. We have plenty of matches to come still as well, and it will be a nice start. Of course, Min does have a bit of a pixel clip there. I did remember that Min on this track had a fair few troubles actually. A lot of times, of course, he is a risky player. He has the pace, so even from myself as well, I only know how to drive risky, so I tend to push the same way I do push in practice. Like I would be driving like time attack basically, because that is the line I know. Yeah. That is the line I'm comfortable with, and I believe Min does the exact same. But that runs its own risk, and that's the problem. But for the time being, 2 Red Devils at least have a victory on the board, and Min is in the wings. Was in the wings, and Danny could almost take advantage of it, but he did the exact same mistake.
I feel like, to go back to your point though, where like a lot of the mistakes I saw, particularly early in this competition on this track, it actually happens at the start on that initial jump onto the big slow dirt corner. And I have to ask you then, is that where you saw Min was making those mistakes? Because I feel like that's the line where if you hit that like full speed and can maintain just right up there along the wall, you can make up so much time, but it's so easy to overshoot it. Is that where we were seeing, the troubles for some of the riskier drivers?
I mean, the risk comes from the fact that it's one line at the start. There is no real good line. You don't have any room for mistake at the start. You can see that if you can take it safely, and again you can see Min is trying to go for every pixel of a corner, and this track doesn't really lend itself to much room. It's the second half that opens up, but this first half is where it's very one-line-ish. You cannot really stray away from it. Here, you have more freedom. It's more platformy. It's much more wider in that regard. So you have a bit more space. But it's the first half that has gotten Min quite a bit, and we see that here as well, as Restless White get a draw out of this in a moment. So it's one of those interesting parts where it should fit Min well, but it's the first half of the track that really just gets a pixel clip out of him all the time.
I don't know. I could have been projecting a bit when I'm talking about that first jump onto the sweeping dirt corner, but I feel if you mess up that jump in any way, if you fall off the line, even if you don't hit the wall, you just lose so much speed throughout it. And speaking of losing speed, Danny didn't have enough for the first jump, and they're going to be in a lot of strife for the rest of this round. A bit unfortunate there for the Restless side. That said, we'll see if Min can keep it together, if we're going to have two bonks once again. It's actually, no, it's Kelva who kind of goes awry through the end of the dirt section. Everyone's clipping the wall, though, as we keep moving forward, and somehow Min is looking the most consistent this round.
Yep, that is, that's how the tables have turned, either Min is last or Min is first, there is no in-between in this world, and Min is off to the races as well. Chung is now in second position as well. Kelva is trying to overtake him, but Min, well, he's so far in front that even that doesn't really stop him now, does it? He will have enough speed for the next sections and should be fine. At least Min can do tech. Almost hit the pole there as well, it looked to me as well. But, still, it's an ace for the two Red Devils. Nothing really fancy. Min was so far ahead, he could touch a wall and a pole and he still was fine at the end of the day as well.
Also, can I just shout out Rook 1 watching from EU, which is sick. At 3 a.m. apparently where they are, which is kind of crazy to think of. And thank you for staying up late to chill with us. I know what it's like to stay up late to watch, out of region esports. Good stuff. But hopefully the matches will keep you awake as we keep going, as at the moment, this one could be another bit of a, well, it was looking good at first, and then Kelvin kind of bonked again. Hopefully we get, more competitive matches as we move forward. I'm not going to lie, this has been a very sloppy series.
Yeah, it was somewhat expected as well with the substitution, and it's being the first match of the day as well, and we knew Agartha was going to be a thing as well. Also, the fact that you call the person Rook 1, and it is Rookie, and they are from Uruguay, not Europe, is a funny part as well. It's literally Uru in their nickname as well, which was funny. So they are in the.
Oh wow! Whoops.
Whoops. But either way, we move on with our casual day-to-day two Red Devils and Restless White match as well. So 57 winning time, blistering pace, and the real Red Devils only need a victory to get the track point. Do apologize us if we go into somewhat of a podcast moment, but it is somewhat that yes, Restless White with the substitute, and and it being the first match of the day as well, people usually have to get the jitters out of their systems as well. So we will have a bit more time to talk absolute nonsense, but we do that anyway. So we just have a bit more time.
Also, I'm not worried about that little flub. All right, it's 3 a.m. where they are. They're not going to remember this in the morning. I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. Wine
it's
as well
3 a.m. They're
so.
drinking. They won't remember any of this. But as we continue, it's definitely a very low-key start to what is going to be an exciting, because again, this is also the third versus 6 seed team, so this is going to be our largest discrepancy as well. Following this, we are going to be getting our fourth versus fifth seeded team, which last week they went 5 rounds, which was super exciting to see. Cal Vossum just missed the checkpoint entirely, has to respawn. Huge Danny still gets a PB coming up. Yep, good job for him. Still 2.5 seconds back though, as Min was 3/10 off his world record, by the way. So I think Min warming up just as they win the round.
Yep, that is what we saw in the group stages as well. Once he gets into the groove, he can just bang those times just in a row, in going 55/7s on that track as well. But maybe he needs just a few more rounds to get into it, or maybe maybe in the back of his head he knows that there isn't he doesn't really have to fully commit to all of this quite yet. It's because he knows the opponent is maybe not quite up to par to them at the moment as well. But of course, you always have to take it fully serious. But I feel like they also somewhat know that they don't have to fully send it. But I mean, Min just doing his own thing, driving a fast time when he wants to, and then hitting the ball in the next, the usual.
Also, to respond to something that Zam Kim is kind of bringing up right now, initially the plan was led to the third seeded team, choose between 4th, 5th, and 6th. Knowing that the sub was in play, I think they still would have chose to go up against Restless White in this situation. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, who would have? Why would the two Red Devils ever pick steak and
exactly.
cheese?
I think
You just take a free win. Either take free win, or you have to actually genuinely try. No offense to Kelva. Ooh, Chung gets a bit of a flick, but that's warm up. I got you there, Max.
Hey, someone always is going to get caught. All right, that's the rule. People warm up too hard.
It's warm up. You gotta get warm. Otherwise, you're just gonna get cold tires. Even Formula One, they have a formation lap to get the tires warm.
That is true, but I felt like that was a very short warm up. Huge Danny probably actually needed a bit more time. Just bonking right out the word go, has to completely sort of reset themselves. And this is going to be a critical map for Restless White. If we are going to see the upset, this needs to be, one of the rounds that they win. And with Min flying off the side of the track, kind of got caught in that little hole right there. That could lead to an opening to maybe find something back. Min has dropped back into 4th place. Huge Danny just ahead, but you can see as Min just kind of coasts right by, the speed favoring the Korean in this situation. So even when things look a little bit rough for the two Red Devils, because they look a little bit more rough for the sub for Restless, they still could be in a position to win this round. Min, though, still bonking off walls. Huge Danny going at a snail's pace up the dirt. They're separated by 2 seconds. They're making similar mistakes, yet somehow Min is also gaining on Kelv Awesome, and there's a chance we could still see a snipe for the ace here.
Well, if Kelva doesn't make the finish here, then that would be very much possible, but that is not going to happen. Min does make... Oh, he's right next to Danny. Well, Danny gave us a bit of a quick wave, but won't be able to overtake in the end. But huge PB by Danny as well, but it is a victory still for the two Red Devils. But yeah,
Danny dirty like that. Huge PB, 13 seconds off 1st place.
Yeah, it is a huge PB.
Yeah, you're right. It was a very big number.
What am I supposed to say? Oh, an insignificant PB. Yeah, now that sounds mean. I said a huge PB, which it was, Max. I'm not that mean. We haven't really discussed who's the bad cop, who's the good cop here, but probably both at the moment, being a bit of a bad cop as well. But regardless of that, it's a huge PP. He's doing his best. Maybe not up to the legend of Sabo Jr., but he's trying. He's in the playoffs of all things. He's. Many people would shiver and probably couldn't even hold the controller in place. They're just absolutely shaking in their hands when they would be playing this. So, props to him, well done. Kelva is trying to catch up to up in front, but it doesn't seem like it will really lend itself to much. Min! Yeah, Min got a bit stuck on the finish line.
Another huge PB.
Just a bit. Huge! Absolutely huge. Like his name, you cannot spell huge Danny 69 without the huge.
True. That was also a huge flub at the very ending right there from Min, just unable to stick the risky finish. Twice in a row now, two Red Devils have been able to get it, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Hey, maybe there's a chance Restless could be able to pull off this upset, but unfortunately, as Min once again bounces off the wall, it does feel like Restless, huge Danny, hasn't practiced this map, and again, they are coming in as an emergency sub, so we can't be too critical of that one. It's not like, they didn't read the rules, but it definitely does make the idea of an upset that much more difficult when this was the second map Restless chose, and one of them doesn't seem practiced on it.
Well, yeah, of course, that is as well. I love how the chat have taken to the fact that, insignificant PB Danny. I don't think it really has a ring to it. I don't know what is actually the maximum character limit for a name. Probably it's the Ubisoft card. Min overtakes Kelva in the end as well, so an ace on the board as well there as well. I don't think insignificant PB Danny really works, chat. You might need to work on that a new Ubisoft name for huge Danny 69, but maybe. Maybe later on he's PB Danny 69, or huge PB Danny 69. Possibilities are
insignificant. Danny drives for RB right now. Just putting that out there.
I mean, yeah, a bit of shade there. I do agree, but that is a proper shot at out Ricardo fans. If there's any Ricardo fans,
I won, all right. So I feel at liberty to drop that. He'll bring it back.
Fair enough.
He'll bring it back.
We'll allow
Just
it.
Wait for it. Speaking
we'll
of
allow
bringing
it.
it back right now, it is looking like Min and Chung have already brought back this round. It is essentially ace and over. Kelv Awesome sitting in P3 just behind Chung, and if Chung makes a mistake, like, well, we've seen several of them, or even if Chung just doesn't have the pace, there still will be a chance for Restless here. Slowly been gaining, Chung taking some much wider lines, which will lead to some faster downhill. As where's Min going? Okay, well, so much for the ace. Unless Kelv messes up very wide, it's going to miss the risky finish. I don't know how far back Min is initially. Both members of Restless go for the safe finish. Min went risky, wound up a little bit too low, and, well, we're going to get another PB on Huge Danny and another draw to continue the madness.
Absolutely, as Min is trying to get the... You can get it, actually, if you hit the corner right there. Well, not the stairs. Don't go for the spectators. Go for the left bit, the black bit on the left side. You could actually flip to the finish. Nobody has done it in rounds. I don't know why. People get on it. It's faster. Definitely not just messing with you. Regardless of that, it is 8-3 on the board. The two Red Devils having a great time on this track as well. And we see that Huge Danny is trying to get around the track as well. Kelva is actually in the lead. And Min and Danny sharing the same corner as well, clipping that as well. So, you know, we have a bit of a round here. We could get one more out of this, you know, if Kelva is able to hold on to first position, which he is at the moment. Chung is not far behind. Well, I say not far behind, but given the current map context at the moment, 5 seconds probably isn't even far. But Kelva, you know, is still doing rather good. Min even overtakes his teammates. Who knows? Danny's actually not too far behind.
I think we're going to get another PB from Danny. Unfortunately, still back in fourth place. It might be an insignificant one. But I will say this. If I am Trident right now watching along, I'm thinking we're picking the winner of this series.
I mean, would you really? I mean, it's a gamble to take the two Red Devils regardless, you know, because, you know, they could be just, you know, you're just playing along with what the script is doing at the moment, and then Restless Black have a fumble on them well, and then the Trident have to pick either Poison or, you know, another Poison. It's not an easy task. The two Red Devils and Restless Black, if Restless Black win against Steak and Cheese, which I am predicting to be still, but it could be a fun match, much more fun in my opinion.
Well, this is fun for different reasons.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, we get to interact with chat as well. Planetary Goose, no offense as well. You know, I see those tears as well. You know, I'm just saying you haven't won against Restless Black. You know, I'm just going off of statistics. You can prove me wrong, Goose. You can prove me wrong.
Well, no, he can't because he's knocked out, isn't he?
Do so. What?
I could be wrong.
Planetary Goose is a part of the next match. They're at Steak and Cheese with Svet.
Sorry, I just read ahead on the script too far.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I got him. I'm not making any friends here today. All right, I'm just taking shots at everyone.
I did cast that match. Red Bolt, I did cast that match as well. But, you know, you two, Winky and Red Bolt, you weren't even properly prepared for the showdown, so we don't count that one. So we care about the Premier League, you know. That was a showdown, you know, not the actual stuff as well. But for the time being, if we are on Shias, it is the map that nobody really likes. I don't know if anybody really likes this track. You know, on the surface, you know, it looks actually quite a nice track, actually. But the problem is, it's just so many things can go wrong here. There's so many possibilities to clip, hit a pole, enjoy your gears on gear 3 third. It's so many things can go wrong on this track as well. It's just also, this is 3-piece, not Shias. I'm talking absolute nonsense. You know, this is what it has devolved into, is like, this is absolute madness of a track, and my brain has already been discombobulated.
The thing is, like, 3-piece to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but it feels like, you know, the last track we had, Candy Crush, except you take that first section and you make it the entire track, where it's like one very precise line for a majority of it. You have that weird ending where you have to stay in third gear. You can't go too hard or else everything falls apart. Like, this is one of the tougher tracks right now, and just judging by the form that we've seen from these two teams, yes, the two Red Devils are going to take, you know, the first round in their favor, but this actually feels a little bit more coin flippy than we might want to admit.
Yep, it is. It is definitely going flippy as well. I mean, people. There is, of course, the Gear 3 dirt in shorts, and to some extent, it can be even. Well, to me, actually, it is. I don't prefer Gear 3 dirt because it can be quite finicky, and the engine just constantly is crying to gear up every single time. As Min clips the checkpoint there as well, so it's just Gear 3 dirt is basically the engine crying, "Let me gear up! I wanna be in Gear 4 where I belong."
It's a challenge. It absolutely is, and actually, Kelv is rising to it right now. Chung, though, goes a little bit deeper, has a little bit of a faster line. I actually think we're going to get a bit of a snipe through the last checkpoint, but then they cut it a little too tight. It doesn't look like, though, Kelv went for a riskier finish, so Chung barely holds on despite the little blip towards the end. 4-2 lead now for the two Red Devils.
Yeah, as well. You'll see that in the end, people will also go for a bit of a flick. You can get do a nose slide in the end there, if you are good enough to do that as well. But most of the time, you should be able to just very much comfortably just get a good line, set yourself up for a good line, and that should be more than enough. If you get that nose slide wrong, it's gonna be even more of a trouble because you're just gonna go very wide, or you're gonna go too tight. It very much depends on your setup. But for the time being, the setup is the fact that we have a 3-horse race up in front, and Kelv is trying his best. I mean, the score is 4-2. It's not like it's been a whitewash on this track, so but still, it's been an uphill battle. But Kelv is trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, Kelv up there. We've already seen 2 respawns from Huge Danny on this round, so unless Kelv can get themselves up into P1, it's probably not going to go their way. And a couple car lengths back as we move through these final corners. No one really got the nose slide. Doesn't matter. A PB for Kelv still sees him nearly 4/10 down. And we are looking at an ace, and we are looking at 1 ace away from the 2 Red Devils advancing to the upper bracket semifinal.
Yep, that is indeed true. To be in the pool of picking for Trident Esports, basically. But still, hey, Kelv getting a PB on this track is shows that he definitely has the pace. Definitely not the pace of getting a 57 flat like Min and Chung basically did right now. But if they get a mistake on the board, they can get a few more points. But you would love Huge Danny. Or as everybody now seems to be saying that every PB is now insignificant. I've clearly coined that now for the chat. They're just now riding that train to infinity and beyond. But for the time being, Min is taking the lead, and Chung is the one, racing a bit behind. But actually, everybody somewhat survived, which is good. I think it's a good success.
Yeah, I mean, this actually could be. Do we finally get around without any bonks, without any crashes? And could it be our final round if Chung makes a couple moves? It would be fitting in a lot of ways. That says Restless. They're currently sitting on the draw. However, it's through this section where Huge Danny gives up a lot of speed, and this is where Chung is his fastest, looking for a snipe potentially to win the match. Not going to get it this time, but it does advance him to 1 point away.
Victory.
Yeah, actually, probably one of the closest rounds we've seen so far. It came all down to the end, so props to them as well. Danny with a huge PB as well. I've said it so many times now. It's just that, but it just works so well, especially given the fact that it has it in his name. So it's all good and well. But for the time being as well, Chung gets a bit of a CP clip there. I mean, not Trident. I swear to God, that anagram will.
Wait till they play against each other next round, potentially.
Yeah, oh my God, it will be TRD and TRI. Oh my God, I'm gonna have an absolute mental breakdown probably, trying to understand which team is which. They don't even have, well, actually, Trident Esports do have a logo, so that helps a bit as well. So maybe it helps.
TRD, that is the logo. Like, you can see the TDR and the D there.
No, that's true as well, but I don't know why. I just the Trident, the TRD,
Oh, Min.
I don't know why it works. But for the time being, Min is absolutely out of it, but Chung holds on to second position. And everybody involved, we have gotten through this match point for the 2 Red Devils, means that they move on to the semi-final. And we'll have to wait and see if Trident Esports pick them or will be. And Kelbal being very nice in chat as well, saying hope that was a good warm-up.
Min
will be
Min
interesting.
had, I think it's going to finish with about a 55 or 56% crash rate for that series, and they still won 4-1.
That's usually his top 1%.
Yeah.
That is usually his top 1%.
Yeah. I don't understand like how you can win a series 4-1 with one of your two drivers sitting at a above 55% crash rate.
The many wonders of an average APAC
2v2s. 2v2s. We were talking about that before coming into this one. You know, it is a special format, and you get special results like that. Try it. I'm sure they were watching. I'm sure they were taking their notes, learning what they could.
I mean, Payback is there. I see you.
We'll see if they can kind of stick with it. We are going to be. We actually have a little bit of time before our next match. I don't know if we're sticking to the strict schedule or if they're going to be getting ready.
Well, currently, as far as I know, that just to simplify everything, we will be sticking to the matches being on the exact hour to simplify for everybody as well. So you know, everybody can get a bit of a break going as well. So for the time being, that was the match between the two Red Devils and Restless White. The next match should bring a bit more to the table, given what we've seen between these two teams, even in this tournament already. So the next match is going to be Restless Black versus Steak and Cheese. Hopefully that Steak and Cheese is not fully cooked to be black. So hopefully they will give us a good match as well.
Hold on. Have you ever had a steak and cheese pie? Because that's what it's named after.
I know, but I've never had steak and cheese pie. I've had like steak and cheese combined, but never as in a pie.
All right. Well, you've got, it looks like 15 minutes to rectify that. So we're going to be going to a break. When we come back, Restless Back, Steak and Cheese, quarterfinal number 2, Single Elim, when we return.